Dallas. Good timing. Here with Mike and Rob from Viretta. Thanks for coming.
How we doing?
Doing good. I've seen you guys play several times, and glad we were able to make this happen. I really like your music.
I'm good, thanks.
You guys got that song Chorus up, so I really like.
Yeah.
I've spun that one specifically a lot of times.
Nice. It's a great one to play live too, because the ending.
Yeah.
You just demolish it, either a good opener or a good closer.
Yeah, that's right. I like, especially live, it's just do it for however long. So of course it's like got to make it like unnecessarily long. It's very fun.
Hell yeah. I mean, I think it's really obvious that you guys enjoy your music and have fun with it. Like sometimes you see a band and they're not having a good time, you know? It's like they're just trying, this is a gig, they're just trying to get over with.
It's like, why? Like,
Yeah.
you should be on. Why have to put yourself on stage and do all that stuff if you're not enjoying it?
Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, if you're doing it for the money, you're in the wrong industry. Like, there's no money in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to know up front.
Yeah. So how long y'all been in Nashville?
Geez, since 2018 we moved from Denver.
So what's up? I thought y'all were from Colorado. Yeah, that sounded familiar.
Yeah, we only got in like late in the year, so our first full year was the year before quarantine, and then everything changed. I got to know the inside of my house pretty well. Still didn't know much about the city, but as it started to open back up again, it's like, okay, this is where I'm living now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was like a tornado. It was like,
oh yeah, like right
shit.
after you got here, huh?
This was
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it usually is where you got. Are you from around here?
Yeah, I grew up an hour south of here, in Fayetteville, Tennessee, which is right above. It's like the last town in Tennessee before you get to Alabama.
Cool.
Yeah.
How's that?
It's a small town. It's like 3,000 people. I was also a Jehovah's Witness, and I was homeschooled. So.
What did you witness?
Jehovah. Yeah.
It's in the name.
Yeah. That's a self-answering question. Yeah, I mean, I'm not anymore, but I had an interesting upbringing.
You witnessed enough.
I saw enough, yeah. Did you guys grow up with religion?
Not really. I mean, it was sort of there. My parents are Christian, but we kind of receded from the church when they started touching kids.
Yeah.
Or when we found out about it.
That's a good reason.
Yeah. And it wasn't really a part of my life until a few years ago. I started reading the Bible again. It's awesome.
It is.
Yeah. It's very dense, very deep, very psychological.
Oh, I have a lot to say about that. I moved out when I was 18 and got away from all that. And because I was also homeschooled, like I literally knew nobody. And I was like very obnoxiously atheist for a long time. And like as an adult, I have a healthy relationship with scripture. But it's kind of only over the last few years, so I can relate to what you're saying.
Do you feel like you're still a religious person?
I'm not sure I know what that means anymore.
How would you define it?
Definitely spiritual. To say religious, I really just need, how would I define religion?
Would you consider yourself Christian?
Funny that you guys are interviewing me now.
Oh, well, I got questions.
I'm just kidding. Would I consider myself a Christian? I'm not. That's a good question. I don't, because to be honest with myself, I'm not living that lifestyle, right? I think it's more than just saying that. So I'm more Christian than a lot of people that claim to be Christian, but I wouldn't call myself that because I think that is not something you just toss around really lightly, you know? Like Christian literally means to like follow in those footsteps. It's not to say that you're of a certain belief system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
the
on Instagram, you can say that you're anything.
Yeah. Well, you can say a lot of things. Yeah. I just don't think it's inaccurate is what it is. A lot of people calling themselves Christians. It's just not true. You're wrong. That should at least be a conversation, right? Like, no, you're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah. Have you read the whole Bible?
Yes. A couple of times.
Nice. What do you think?
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Okay. Before we do that, y'all have a show coming out August 16th at the basement
We do,
with the reveal, Mummy Cats, and someone.
which is related because this was predicted in Revelation, so
Yeah.
you should be there if you want to see how it all ends.
Yeah.
That's right.
The world ends August 16th at the basement. Come see the reveal, Viretta, Mummy Cats.
Right after our set, it's over. So
Yeah.
until we play.
That's the
You're
last
safe.
thing that happens. Cool. Well, I'll be there.
That was a good plug.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made me want to go.
Smooth
Yeah.
transition.
hmm
Trying to help out.
Yeah, we're all over the place here. It's the Mad Tea Party. It's not the
Same tea
rational.
parties.
Yeah, the rational sane Tea Party. You asked me what I think about the Bible.
Yeah. What'd you think about that?
I have so much to say. Okay, so you familiar with gematria?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's these number sequences hidden inside scripture. As soon as you translate that, you've lost that. You have to sit there and translate it back into order. Like, but if you're an Israelite and you're reading a scroll, you're seeing equations and a story at the same time. And you don't have to sit there and cross-analyze it. It's like it's two messages at once. In Hebrew storytelling, there was a specific way to tell a story. And if you're not telling a story a specific way, you're not doing it right. This is a sacred act, right? And in the Talmud, which is another Jewish book,
Yeah.
there's a story about this guy who builds a man out of clay, and he puts the tetragrammaton, the name of God, on its tongue, and it comes to life and protects the village. That's where we get the idea of the golem. And these Israelites, take this how you will, were very serious about you could do this with a narrative. You could create a golem out of not the words, not the text, but the narrative itself, because this was done word of mouth before it was written down. So you could bind a spirit to, and the word Torah is the Hebrew word for binding. So they're telling you, we have trapped a spirit inside of this. And Jesus in the New Testament calls the Torah the living word of God. And Christians don't ever stop to think about what that means. But he's telling you, like, no, this thing's alive. And
yeah, they forget he's Jewish. Like Jesus, he was Christian.
He's a Christian guy. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Oh man. So there's a thing called bibliomancy where it's like we've all heard.
Speaking our language, man.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Okay. Cool. This is.
No,
I love this
but
kind of stuff.
explain for
okay.
the non-heathens.
Yeah. So bibliomancy is like we've all heard a story about like I was in a bad way and I like went to this hotel and I was gonna like kill myself or something, and then I saw a Bible in the dresser and I opened it up and the first thing I saw completely changed my life around.
Kill
There's
yourself.
1,000. Oh, okay. There's like a million stories like that. And so when you tell a story in a circle, and this is an oversimplification of chiastic literature, there's a lot more to it. But the idea is that if you tell it in a circle, that you've like completed the circuit, so this thing is now stuck inside of it. So
a spirit, a thing.
Yeah, spirit.
Do you know what you're summoning with this, depending on the story, or just whoever gets in first?
According to the Jews, they're summoning God, like they're putting, but also there's a lot to say about that because the Torah, like Yahweh, the Tetragrammaton, is when it's together like that, it's earth, water, air, fire. And that's God's name. The Jews were not superstitious in the sense of there's like a guy in the clouds. That is a way to explain concepts. And ancient Israelites knew this. Fundamentalism has only existed for like 500 years. It's like extremely recent. But for a long time, this is like a metaphor for reality. And what it's telling you is that like Yah is an inhale and way is an exhale. And it's telling you it's everything. It's the Alpha and Omega. It like there is no separation between creation and creator. Like this is it. And that's what the Torah is about. So that's what I think the Bible's about, or what I think about it, to answer your question.
Yeah, that's nice. Like a bunch of guys in the desert figured out how to talk about thinking.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm really engaged in it for sure. I started reading the Sefer Yetzirah, if you're familiar. You probably are. It's like an early kind of Kabbalistic
The Sephirah
text.
Yeah.
It deals with those
Okay.
a lot, but they said it was descended from the teachings of Abraham, because people were trying to date it. And so the legendary dating is like, well, this is just what Abraham spoke about. This is oral teachings. And but it's like, I think it's like 600 AD or not BC. I don't know. But what I liked about it when I was reading, it was one of the first times where I started to get like explanations for things that happen in the Bible, or like when these God is referred to as like more than one spirit. It's like a different mode of referring to him as Elohim. And that's why it pops up in the beginning of creation, because he had like split man into different parts and stuff, and but then all of them together equal that. And so they had like their own lore behind each thing. But I haven't passed into New Testament at all. I'm actually on First Kings right now.
Okay.
So Solomon just showed up, and that's cool.
So the Solomon stuff is awesome.
Yeah, he seems to be like the kind of, I don't want to say most mystical one, but he asked God for wisdom, and apparently he got it.
You familiar with the Lesser Key of Solomon?
I'm familiar with it. Is it here?
I have one somewhere.
Nice. Anybody's gonna steal something off that shelf.
Might be on the other side of you over there.
This is the book?
Here it is. Yeah, this is the Lesser Key of Solomon. So, I mean, this is also probably not that old.
Cool.
But that's how the story goes, is that this is
there's a bunch of
Solomon's
seals
Book
and
of
stuff.
Demons. Yeah. Because Solomon, there's a bunch of stories of
That's
Solomon.
me. Already we found ourselves.
Yeah, you were talking about bibliomancy. But there it is.
The
Does that
31st
work?
spirit is Foras. He is a mighty president and appeareth in the form of a strong man in human shape. He can give the understanding to men how they may know the virtues of all herbs and precious stones. Okay.
Who done like herb?
Yeah, who don't like getting stoned. And he teaches the arts of logic and ethics in all their parts. If desired, he maketh man invisible, and to live long and to be eloquent. He can discover treasures and recover things lost. He rules over 29 legions of spirit, and his seal is this, which wear thou, etc. So these are all demons.
Yeah. These are the 72 major demons.
Is this all like Apocrypha?
Yeah.
Like,
now there's a lot, like all of this stuff, there's a lot of question about how old this is.
Yeah, like where it comes from.
But yes, this is Apocrypha. This is,
it's all extracurricular.
yes.
Cool.
But have you heard stories about Solomon outside of scripture about him dealing with demons?
Yeah, totally. And he also like fucked a lot of people too.
Yeah.
So overall, real interesting guy.
Mhm.
And this is the lesser key insinuating a greater key?
Greater key is angels.
Yeah.
Mm,
I don't have that one.
good lore.
Yeah. Have you guys ever, when I say ghost stories, I mean like ghost puts this connotation on it. It implies a lot of things. Like it's taking several assumptions, right? But have you ever experienced something you can't explain with logic?
Mm, I don't think anything crazy. I don't know. Most things seem to make sense to me in my life. I've never really been confronted with something that just like changed my whole worldview. Like I've seen some things, but like I don't know, it seemed to make sense at the time, or it was something that I didn't question. It's just something that was generally understood, so to speak.
Such as.
I don't know, like you see like or like there was like in the house that we grew up, there was like a little boy that would like run around, and different family members would be like, yeah, I saw that. And like I saw like a foot or like a running around a corner I caught. And I was just like, oh well, yeah, you would be running around. Like I don't know. It just didn't shock me or scandalize me or anything, but
Well, what do you think about that as an adult looking back on it?
it makes sense.
What do you mean? What does it make sense?
I mean, it seems like a natural part of this world, or at least a part of this world that's just present, certainly.
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
it's just like something I like just totally accept, but also because it's like, I mean, like I have such little contact with anything, like at least in like in a physical sense, being able to like see stuff I don't encounter much as an adult now.
Yeah.
Maybe my eye is more closed now.
Oh, no, I think it's more like when you're a kid, you don't know what the rules are.
Yeah.
Like,
So you just take everything at face value.
Yeah. It's like, so when you're an adult, you know what is and what is not possible. So it's
But
yeah.
no.
But if you take like psychedelics, it's like you're a kid again. You forgot what the rules are. You're like out of your depth. And it's like anything could happen. And it's like
This happened to you.
Oh, I've got a lot of stories, yeah.
I bet you. So what's like the weirdest thing that happened when you were a kid that you were like, is this real?
So nothing happened to me when I was a kid. It's only when I sought it out. It's only when I went looking for it.
As an adult?
As an adult.
With that book?
With that board, we started with that board. Yeah. I can tell you guys that, but I want to know if you have any stories first.
I don't have anything. No, I'm really at face value kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in it.
Well, I want to be clear. I don't recommend, like, I'm not advising people to do this kind of stuff, but if you're curious in it, we can like make things happen for sure. Yeah. I'm saying if you guys wanted to use this,
you can.
Yeah.
I don't want anything following me home.
Okay,
but...
you're not skeptical about it at all. You're like, yeah, and that's
yeah, there's forces.
I'm
not trying to take them home, but
for sure.
I recognize, sure.
I was like obnoxiously atheist until until I went and tried it.
You wanted it proven.
Yes, and I fucking got what
it got proven.
Yeah.
Did you?
You witnessed.
Yeah. So I've told this story on here before, so I'll make this quick as I can. I used to date this girl that was more into the occult, and I was kind of like whatever, because like religion kind of just made me atheist. Like
made you gassy.
Yeah. I mean, I still have a huge problem with organized religion, and we'll talk about that some more too. But we bought this board, and I should mention we dropped acid when we did this the first time.
Probably helped.
But I don't discount that kind of stuff, because if you look back historically, that's always been tied with shamanic use. Like that's heavily associated with shamanic practice is mind altering substance, And we just kind of were, I don't know where the planchette went, but the planchette is for this one. Okay, so this is an invocation board. This is different from an evocation board. Your standard Ouija board is like splayed like a rainbow, kind of like an arch. And the planchette is shaped like a wishbone. Like it comes out to a point and then it like bevels at the end. This is an invocation board, and I didn't know this when I bought it. It's like it has a lot to do with geometry, but like the planchette to this is also circular. It's a dial. So it's a circle on top of a circle. The difference between this and your standard Ouija board is this is not confined to the interaction of the board. It's confined to the circle of people in it, right? So it would start, the way it started was I had my hand there on it, we both did, and it started to move. And the only thing I can think of is like, I trust this girl, but that is the only thing that makes sense is that she's moving this. That's the only logical explanation. But I was like, we'll just humor it, see what happens. And it started to talk about, it was calling us mom and dad and saying like, it kept trying to tell us that she was pregnant. And we're like, no, that's not the case.
She's trying to lock it down.
Yeah. And it's like, well,
Maybe you guys should get married.
yeah, it was like, well, y'all need to have a kid. If you're not pregnant, you need to have a child. And we were like, not right now. Like, that's not a thing that's happening right now. And it talked to us for a while. And then at a certain point, it felt like a string was wrapped around my finger. My finger was just going like that. And I'm just kind of looking at it. And I'm tripping balls. So I'm kind of like in a trance. Like it's not freaking me out. It's just, I'm accepting of it.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, okay, well, let's just see where this goes. So it like started like balling my fist. And the best way I can explain it is it was like physical therapy. Like if you didn't know how to use a limb and you were trying to learn again, it was like trying to learn how to use an arm.
Hmm.
And at this point, I would like wiggle my toes or like make myself stop just to show myself, okay, I'm still in charge here. And it moved up my arm and started rotating my shoulder. And at the same time, a little bit after this starts happening to me, it starts happening to her. And after like 15, 20 minutes of this, I realized we haven't said anything to each other. Like we're just both in awe. It's what's happening.
Mm.
And so I'm like, I look up at her and I'm like, can you give me some kind of indication that you're still in control? Because I'm like, just wiggle your toes or like stop for a second. And she looked at me and like a single tear rolled down her face. And I immediately like had a complete shift. I'm like, oh, this is not okay. And I didn't know, like, this is the first time I'd ever done anything like this. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I grab her hand and I put my hand on the planchette and I move it to goodbye. Because I'm like, I've seen movies before. This is how this works. Immediately, the grip that this thing had on my whole body starts to let go. But it doesn't like let go. It's like easing up. Like I can feel it losing power over me, but it was like not on and off. It's gradual. So I took her hand and I like, it's like 3 a.m. We're in our underwear. And I take her outside all the way down. We lived at like a steep driveway, all the way down to the edge of the driveway. And then we got down there and she's like, why did you bring me down here? And I'm like, do you not remember what just happened? And she's like, no, I do. I don't understand why you dragged me out of the house though. And I have a moment where I'm like, is that really her? I'm like, I don't trust her. I'm like, I'm confused. And she's like, let's just go inside. And I'm like, no. And she's like, okay, I know what just happened was weird, but it's okay now. let's just go back in the house. And eventually she like talked me down and like took me back inside. And we didn't do that again for a long time.
And then she killed you.
And she killed me, yeah.
Your instincts were right, dude.
But that was the first time I'd ever encountered a spirit. And that like I've done a lot of stuff like that since with the board and otherwise. And I think it's really, I think it's interesting to do if you don't believe in that kind of thing, right? But I'll tell you what too, I've interacted with several spirits I would consider, but I've never seen any like poltergeist activity.
Mhm.
It's always channeling or just like getting images or yeah, that's pretty much it. And I ask people about ghost stories all the time. I have heard people tell me about poltergeist activity, but I've never seen anything like that. And I have gone looking for it. But I'm kind of at a point now where I'm agnostic to the idea of poltergeists. I think these things can't interact with the physical world.
You believe in them, but
I don't think that they can interact with, they need an avatar in order to actually affect anything here.
person.
Yeah, I think. I would be interested to like be proven wrong about that, but I've never seen it. And because of that, what's interesting is like I've studied chaos magic mostly and like Thelema, and the people that are like actually like studying magic as a practice, like they're not talking about shooting fire out of your hands or levitating. It's mind over matter stuff. It's all psychology. So anything that's happened to me can be explained with mental illness, right? It's like I had
You're just
a
crazy.
delusion. Yes.
No,
And
not if you're shooting fire out of your
not if you're
hands.
shooting fire.
That'd be sick.
That would be sick. But I don't think that you can break physics. I think that you can interact with spirits from another plane, but I think we would have seen it if people could levitate or shoot fire, right?
Got cell phones. It's kind of a different story.
What do you mean?
Like maybe some people were shooting fire off in the woods, but they didn't bring cell phones. It was like the 60s and they had like they could keep it secret. But nowadays, if somebody was they'd be on TikTok being like, check this out, goes, all right, like, follow, and subscribe for more.
It just seems very unlikely, right? Yeah. Like someone would have done that. Someone would be famous. There'd be a famous TikToker shooting fireballs at this point. Anyway, that was a long story. What do you guys think about aliens?
Real.
Obvious. Okay. Yes. Everyone knows there's got to be life out there somewhere, right? Have they ever been here?
Of course.
Okay. Are they still here?
Probably.
I mean,
Or checking in.
Yeah.
Certainly.
it's kind of like, is there someone driving on the highway? Like, yeah. Like, which way are they going? That way, that way.
Which car are
There's
they?
another lane.
I agree. Why do you think they're here? Is that also multiple intentions?
Their purpose?
Yeah. Is it like multiple kinds with different intentions or?
Man, you'd assume so, but it's like it's either really easy for them to go to move around, in which case it's like, why not fuck around on Earth for like my layover? Or it's I am here for a specific reason. Or I don't know. It's like poltergeist. They can't interact with us. They're like on a different plane. They're here. We don't recognize them as life. Does an ant understand what you are? I don't know. We share the planet with them. But man, I saw this Instagram video of like the bubbles that are being made by like a humpback whale. You see that shit? It's like the Fibonacci sequence going on. Like, if there's any aliens, it's probably them.
USOs in the ocean. Yeah.
I just don't see how we can be alone. Like, we've already accepted that, but there's some really interesting intelligent life on this
Mhm.
planet. You start to feel pretty stupid. I think I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what we are. Maybe we're the aliens.
Right.
Everybody says.
No, yeah.
Every conspiracy theory, or like, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's
I was like,
uh,
why do dogs like us so much? I'm like, this dog seems good. It feels like a good judge of
they're
character.
also aliens.
We must be good.
Dogs are just good.
Hmm.
Dogs are nice.
Well, it's kind of like hypothetically, all life would be alien, right? Like from like an asteroid,
Or from somewhere.
yeah, like microbes on an asteroid that landed here or something like that.
You ever play Silent Hill?
Yeah,
You know, there's like a UFO alien ending
Mhm.
for each game,
yeah.
and it's
I
a dog, like at the controls with the headset. It's like that was the whole thing. Because what's dog backwards?
God, dog is God.
And that's a wrap. You can take that to the bank.
We're done here.
We reached the pinnacle.
Yeah,
God, aliens,
That
dog,
dog.
the same.
Yeah, we started with God and aliens, and we got to dog finally, which was the top of the top.
That's right. Top of the pops.
Yeah, I think
No, they're probably around.
that right, like, and
I don't have enough evidence that they wouldn't be. So
it kind of sounds like you were alluding to. That's kind of how we're here too, like kind of like you know about like Epic of Gilgamesh and like Inky and Enlil, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
It's like one of the first things ever recorded that we have
Mhm.
is a story about how human life came to be
Yeah, and a flood narrative.
and a flood narrative. Yeah,
Funnily enough.
yeah, with the vials of essence, like it makes way more sense than the biblical flood story. And the god of that story is an archer, so when he hangs his bow in the sky, it's like all that symbolism's lost.
His bow.
Yeah, the rainbow. Big brain.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like that's all about how aliens splice their DNA with some kind of hominid.
Gilgamesh is?
Yeah. Or like specifically the stuff, the creation part of that story. Like there is the floods narrative with Gilgamesh, but the first part is about like human origin.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Like basically these things came down here because some of our minerals are good for their atmosphere. And so they took what existed here and gave it enough cognizance to like be good miners, like be good resource collectors.
Mm.
And then along comes this character Enki, who splices his own DNA into the minds of them, whatever that means. Some people are like they fuck chimps. That's what happened. But like,
Never know, do you?
yeah, you never know. So one way or another, like basically the way we are now is due to Enki adding something to our DNA that made us more than the
Yeah, Prometheus is
Yeah.
sharing the fire with
Mhm.
humans, or
that's
Azazel
yes.
giving us the horrible teachings of war and
Mm.
makeup.
And right. The fucking Enoch stuff, right?
Yeah, there's some interesting shit there too.
and then he
And-
was not.
And it's also the serpent in the garden giving us knowledge, right? It's like
Yeah, there's always a trespass when it comes to wisdom sometimes.
Are
But,
you- yeah.
except with Solomon, as I've seen so far, he was just like, wisdom? And God's like, yeah. Like,
it's a good answer.
simple. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like people are thinking too much. Like with boards and shit. Like I think you can probably tap into some like fuckery.
Just
But-
with just your mind.
But the good stuff like should come easy, so to speak. Like it's hard to get to a good place or see something the right way. But if it's for good, I don't believe that it should be that everything that I get from good is like peace, centeredness,
Steady.
You just kind of
Hmm.
like breathing. Nobody taught you to breathe.
Yeah,
You just
that's very Buddhist too, like dissolving the ego
Mm.
and being source consciousness. Like, I'm of the opinion that
This world is meant to be mined for its resources. We shall use the board to set. I get it.
I was not what I was gonna say.
I know everything you're gonna
Exactly
say. I
what
know
I was
you
gonna say.
inside and out, of course.
Um,
Tell me.
I think that everything is breathing. Like that's how everything is a separating and a coming together. Like that's how babies are made.
Yeah.
It's two things coming together to make a thing, right? That's how like we.
What do you mean? Could you go in further detail?
Well, when a mommy
With
loves
the-
a daddy
okay.
very much, she rides his dick,
Ah,
and then babies happen.
that I
She
think I
doesn't
saw
even have to
something like
love
that
him
in that
very
book.
much either.
Say what?
Wow.
So she doesn't even need to love him that much either.
No, it can happen that way.
Sometimes when a
Yeah, that's a
really
good
nice
point.
girl makes a very bad mistake a few years ago.
Mistakes are made.
A couple months later.
Shit happens, you know?
Shit happens. But I think that's like supposedly that's how the universe is too, is it starts at like one point and it expands out and then like heat death and like everything collapses back to one thing and then it expands out and then
Yeah,
it comes
big.
back together.
Weren't scientists like on this kick recently where somebody like I won't say disproved. I feel like there was like some dialogue going around where the Big Bang was disproved and people were realizing that space may be even bigger than we think it is and even infinitely bigger than we think it is.
It's like they
Was that like a thing recently?
well, if the Big Bang is where time begins, you can't like think about like what happened before time, since that's like the beginning of like that motion, but you can't necessarily disprove that there wasn't another before that. So it's like you just get these like kind of like fluctuations. But I don't know. I don't know how they're supposed to even speculate.
It's not my field.
They speculate that it started smaller and is expanding because everything's getting farther away from itself. Like there's more distance in between things now.
Right,
So
but
it's
isn't that
like-
slowing down though?
I don't know. I actually have no idea what I'm talking about.
We're getting farther away from God, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. But I think consciousness is the same way. It starts with one thing and then it splits itself into
You're
all-
talking to twins.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's like, but I guess what I'm saying is that like we're all the same person. Like
Sure.
we're all God. A blade of grass is God, and everything is one thing. And like not only that, but I think every religion says this. Like John Lennon said it best: "I am he, as you are he, as you are me, and we are all together." And like with capital he and we. But like Jesus is like treat other people the way you want to be treated, because that's you. And it's also like the Catholics call it the mystery of the Trinity because they don't understand it, admittedly. But it's like God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit, which is just saying there's God here and there's God here. Like Jesus isn't like I'm special because I'm the Son of God. It's like I figured out that I'm God and you need to do what I'm doing because you are also God. And like what you do has severe consequence. And I think this repeats. We'll hit a singularity where we're all linked to this hive mind. And then we'll go, fuck, this sucks. I wish I could just upload myself to a matrix and pretend that I'm not everything. And then everything resets. So then the question is, how many times have we done this already? Like how many levels into it?
like the longest Dungeons and Dragons game ever.
Yeah. This gets nested into other universes.
You ever watch Evangelion?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's the end of Evangelion right there.
Yeah. Everything turns into orange tang.
That's right. Spoiler.
I've been rambling a lot this episode, guys. I'm sorry. Where does art come from? Like, I guess, what is your writing process like, and where does that start?
Where does art come from?
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm not explaining this well.
Mm.
Like, I'm not a musician, but I write poetry, and
Oh,
when
I
I
knew
have
that.
really,
I knew
I-
the second part, not the first part. I just
Yeah.
assume everybody's a musician if they live here.
yeah, I do poetry, and I'm working on a fantasy novel right now. I upload it page by page to my Instagram as I write it. So it's not completed yet, but everything that is written is on my Instagram.
You got people like, where's the next page?
Not really.
One day.
Yeah, I do a lot of standalone poetry on there too. Like just this is its own thing.
How many pages?
It's close to 200 pages. Probably a little bit more.
That's a book. Ship it.
Yeah.
Do you
Get
know
that
when
shit
it's done?
published.
No, I have I'm near the end.
Is there like a congruous story, or is each page like a fucking?
It's a congruent story that goes from like yeah, it has a beginning to the point where it's at now. But
Word.
yeah, but like when I write stuff, I don't like sit down to write. I have a hard time. I like discipline. I think it's like a larger problem. But it's hard for me to sit down and write something.
Hmm.
But like something will just come to me while I'm in the car. And it's like the way it happens, or like I'm stoned and like just weird ideas enter my head. And it's like the way that first initial spark is hard to pin down exactly whether I came up with that or if I picked up on a frequency that was just out there.
Mm.
So like when you start a song, like what's the inception of a song, I guess?
I mean, that makes it. I mean, it's like creativity is neither created nor destroyed. It is like energy. It's just like if you are making yourself the vessel for it, so to speak, how much of it are you letting get past you? And are you standing in the way of it? Or are you letting it, be what it needs to be? Like, I feel like a lot of people get in the way of their own art to their detriment. Because it's like the way I see any of this stuff or art or music or poetry or whatever it is, it's like it has to be the most good. It has to be like the most pure. And we're flawed individual beings, whatever. But our ability to synthesize and then interpret that and then present it to other people, I want to say it's like effectiveness. Its effectiveness is based on like how much of I don't say how much of it ourselves that we, because like a lot of it is like it's constructed in the language that you create because it's coming from you. But if you're like standing in front of it where you're more important than the thing that you're supposed to be creating, then it's like to your detriment. So it's more like I see it more as just like channeling. Because it's like, again, you didn't create the fucking thing, I wasn't just like fucking, it's like the forces are out there. And then how well or not you channel it is just like a combination of personal taste, discipline, listening, awareness, how much fun you're having,
Yeah.
what your intention is.
Yeah. It gets filtered. So it's a collaborative effort between this like source.
Even when
thing.
it's alone, or when you're alone, it's collaborative, kind of.
Yeah, between that thing itself and being filtered through you to become something. Am I understanding that right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like the push and pull, like you were saying.
Yeah. No, I agree. The answer is it's both things. It's the creative process on the part of the artist and also this muse, like this spark that comes from.
Spark is probably the best way to say it. At least for me, because I don't think anybody fucking sits down to write a song and is thinking, yeah, I'm really interacting with the fourth dimension. You just Yeah,
just
you
happens.
have a fucking instrument in your hands, you're screwing around, something you like a little bit more, and you just follow it. More things happen. Sometimes it stops, sometimes you're in a real good mood, you're a little more receptive, and then you start, it becomes its own thing. I guess I don't know, it's like meditation almost. Like I know if I haven't been playing guitar for a while, I'll feel like dick, and then I'll pick up a guitar and start playing, and I'm just like, ah. Like I went to the spa today. I feel fucking great.
You got something out of you. It's like an exorcism. Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
They're all rituals.
Getting more in touch with the divine.
Doodling on
Yeah.
guitar to God, to reach God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guitar solo to God.
Music is divine. I like
Fair.
when I moved here and got away from my hometown, I was like 18 and I didn't know anybody. And I just started going to, I couldn't get in everywhere. So I went to like East Room and a handful of other places. And like that became church, like that became community. And like I really wouldn't be here without live music. I think it saved my life. So I say that to, not all artists are aware of this, but like what you guys do is really important.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. I mean, not everyone's aware of that, like when they do it, but like you don't know what kind of impact you're having on people. So
You never really do. I feel like the most important
I guess
thing
not.
is getting it out. Something we say with other artists or director friends of ours. It's like we have these like big conversations of quality or whatnot, but or intention or what's your purpose or whatever. But I think the one I always go back to is like, is it good? Like make it good first, before you
yeah,
go out on or follow any other like I'm gonna put this out on I'm gonna crowdsource this thing, I'm gonna raise all of this money, I'm gonna do, it's like, is it good? Is it even good? Do you even like it? Or is this just like the first thing that you just what are you mobilizing for? What is any, do you even like it?
Just
Do you
on the
like what you
surface.
do? Yeah, you're just like,
It's gonna
yes,
affect anybody.
dog paddling on the surface. Like,
Better be fucking good. But if it's gonna be good, then
make
it's
it
gonna
good.
be
Make it
it's
good
gotta be
first.
different.
Yeah.
You might not even understand what it is.
It's just got to be listening.
That's happened.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Intention's really important with that, right? Like, why are you making this thing? Is it because you have to, like, for your mental health? Like you have to be making things? Or is it like I'm trying to fish around for a product that's gonna like make money? It's like,
oh, you're dead if it's that.
yeah, it's like you're in the wrong business, dude. Like,
especially here. I mean, there's plenty of commercials need jingles.
exactly. Yeah. It's like there's commercial music.
There really are. Some people really want that Cheerios.
Yeah.
A bowl of Cheerios.
I don't know. You see like a Xanax commercial. It's like, it's not hitting. It's got that nice little
actually best,
ukulele going on. Yeah, this is
commercial.
really making me want to do some.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite commercial jingle? Because I know I do.
Ooh.
There's the ones that like I don't like them, but I remember them. You know what I mean? So in a way, like the like marketing advertising part of my mind is like, that's fucking genius.
O'Reilly.
That's it. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, was it really?
That was really what I was gonna say. Or the Stanley Steamers one. Do you guys have that in Colorado?
We do,
probably.
Yeah. Remind
Stanley
me.
Steamers makes your home cleaner today.
Whoa, maybe we don't. No, it's like another jingle.
It's a jingle.
New jingle lore unlocked.
Yeah, what's the Stanley Steamers?
They're like carpet steamers, like clean your carpet.
No,
Yeah,
sorry,
no, I
the
see
Stanley
it.
Steamers
Theme.
fucking theme that I'm familiar with. It's not that one.
Oh wait, you have a different Stanley Steamers theme? What the fuck?
Maybe it's like
Trying to
regionally,
remember,
like
'cause that one wasn't familiar.
like
but
y'all
I-
don't have King Supers out here. You have Kroger. There's
Yeah,
no
that's
Kroger
funny.
in fucking Colorado.
The
Yeah,
fuck
I
is
had
a
to get
King
used-
Super? What the fuck?
What? It's
King
like
Super.
it's
He's like has
Kroger.
a crown and like a little. thing
sounds
in
awesome.
a coat.
And it's
It's like
like
a Kroger?
Soopers. King
Yeah,
Supers.
There's a big white beard.
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre describing it, but it was just King Supers when I was.
You know, I mean, we've
Fine.
or I've looked it up. It's like they're all owned by like the same company. It's just like regionally, it's like I don't know, people gravitate culturally to different shit. So there's a Kroger over here, there's a King Super over here. I mean, we don't really know.
Yeah, makes sense.
Hmm.
Just brainwashing you with propaganda.
Yeah. Oh, we can talk about that too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so like we live in a weird world, right? It's a weird time to be alive right now.
Granted.
A lot like going on. There's like a lot of subliminal stuff that like we're not even aware how we're being influenced. Then there's like what I call light propaganda, which is arguably the worst because you don't realize that it's propaganda. You know what I mean? And then there's like overt propaganda that's like
Propaganda is like Starbucks. It's like, why do I gotta have my coffee
Yeah.
in the morning with my little plastic cup? And
Yeah.
I say I don't
Because you're
really drink
addicted. That's why.
that. No, they marketed the product into the culture.
it's not addiction.
I
Advertising.
don't know. I'm jonesing for that black coffee in the morning. Anyway, I mean, like
Yeah.
I like we grind our beans.
You make your own coffee?
We make very extremely caffeinated coffee that's just like ridiculous.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
black as the night,
I'll just be
early in the morning.
I'll be like
That's wild.
nervous the rest of the day. I'll be like, why am I so anxious?
Why do I do this to myself?
I don't understand. Man, I'm like freaking out today, but I'm very focused.
I'm shitting myself everywhere. Oh man.
Good.
It's just a
Neither
regular
confirm nor
day
deny.
for me.
What do you guys think is gonna happen like in the next what's your projection for humanity in like the next 50 years?
50 is a long time.
It's a very long time.
I think
70.
they'll be having the real robot AI question then, because like we're pretty close to simulated consciousness. There's I haven't gotten past this, and I have a book I'm borrowing from a friend that's basically about this. What's it called? The Age of the Human Machine?
The
Or-
age of thinking.
I forget what it's called. But yeah, it deals with all of that kind of stuff. I would see certainly robots being more of a thing, or more of a thing, because like right now it's a little abstract. It's like on the internet it can make a funny jingle or something. It's like once they start thinking for themselves and shit, it's just like how could it not spiral out of control? It's like what in Dune, like there's a reason why they don't have any robots, because it's like
machines.
humanity cannot live alongside a separate consciousness. It's like you're just creating more
Conflict.
whatever. Anyway, you like it. I'd like it to be like next gen Star Trek, where you have Data and he's just like very competent and just like a good person and just trying collaborative and trying to learn things. But like even in that, like
he's a commander.
there's not
or a
robots
lieutenant
all
commander.
over the place that have their own autonomy. He's like the first android that joined Starfleet, because they picked him up on a planet where somebody finally figured it out. Some insane scientist.
Oh, okay.
I'm going on a thing now, but I think robots are definitely going to be more a thing. Hopefully trips to the moon and to Mars and shit. I definitely would like to, in my old age, hop on do a little flyby or whatever, or check out the moon base or whatever. I mean, like things that sound, the way I think of it is like whatever sounds unbelievable to me right now. Cause like I think of like, the past 50 years or whatever sounded like crazy. And we'll have these little devices and we'll be able to instantly message each other all the time. And I can see you from my device and then talk to you in like real time
Anywhere in the world.
And like
wireless, and it'll fit in my pocket. I can listen to music and watch movies on it.
And you can, and it'll have a million songs. You'll have every song that's like ever, like it sounds like insane. And we figured it out pretty quick.
They did it.
Yeah, pretty quick. So I feel like plenty stuff that if I have to really think about it, it has to be anything that sounds like absolutely unachievable is probably feasible within that next 50. I mean, like 50 years.
Yeah, well, technology has not been like a steady slope, right? Like we get like electricity, which is like boom, And then we get like computers and it's like boom, and we just hit the biggest one we've ever hit, which is like artificial intelligence and where that's taking us. That's like what they're doing in like the medicine field with it. Like they're creating like a simulation of a person and then like administering things to it to see what the effects will be. Yeah,
Explain.
like a 3D model of a person, and then you administer drugs or
Could you expect it to act like
yeah,
a human because the
Introduce-
AI is accurate enough
It's-
to
yeah.
test things theoretically?
that's like one of the quantum mechanic or quantum computing things that they're working on is being able to have a working digital model of a person, like simulate a person.
It's a digital golem.
Yeah. And then basically like Interactive Buddy with it. Remember Interactive Buddy, the browser game?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It's like this little stick figure in a box. It was a big Newgrounds thing.
Cool.
And then you'd like torture it. You like do things to it, like light it on fire and shit.
Mm.
But basically they're doing that with like a person and administering drugs, maybe like viruses. And
That could be what's happening to us right now.
Yeah, no,
Or
they're doing
test dummies.
they're doing that in real life.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get those digital ones up so we can stop doing it to us.
yeah. I
No,
do
we're
think
just
there's
oppressing the new lower digital version of us. Sorry.
I was gonna ask, do you think that America will still exist in 50 years?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
I hope you're right.
Well, I mean, how do you want it to exist?
Oh,
Is
okay,
the
I see what you're
question.
saying.
But
Oh, sure.
I don't think that it'll go
In a
away.
literal sense, it'll
There's
still
a
be
lot
here.
of money.
I mean, in 50
Um,
years is still like it's a long time, but it's not that long.
It goes
Well, I
pretty
mean,
quick.
we've been around for like a minute, but I mean, I mean, outside of like, oh, nuclear holocaust and like everything, whatever, like, yeah, the people who have the money and are in charge, so to speak, like the structures are still pretty much there. The only thing that's really happened, I feel like now, is that we're just more people, the lay person is more aware of it,
Mm,
so to speak.
yeah.
Do you know that Bush not being able to say nuclear
Fucked
Literally
the word for every.
increased? Yeah, the number of people saying nuclear,
Really?
but it's nuclear.
It's nuclear.
Bush wasn't allowed to say it.
No, he's just bad at words.
Oh, and
He
said,
does bad
which-
words.
Oh, he does that. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I've
no
seen
good
him.
at word.
I've seen him do bad words before. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're all pretty bad at them, except like Trump, who's like so
No,
fucking
wordsmith.
Yeah.
but wordsmith with like simple words.
He's a fucking like rhetoric genius. Like
He's
he's the most
he's a marketing
charismatic
genius.
person that like more than Clinton, like more than Obama, like extremely charismatic.
Well, Obama was a celebrity. Hilariously, Trump was a celebrity, but he like learned the language. Biden is probably dead, but
This
I'm
is
just trying to figure that out.
like the conspiracies
chaos
with like
right
the
now.
mask. Like have you seen those?
I have seen those where
Yeah.
Obama is where it's like Obama doesn't have the time. He wants to. He's probably on a beach. Like he's not fucking cosplaying as Joe Biden. I would be the most surprised.
He's probably
American.
approving transcripts, but
Like,
that's like about the
holy
extent.
Shit.
Like Biden's doing a press speech and just rips off his face and it's Obama.
Mhm. The second he realizes the cameras are still on, just like, well, we did it again.
Oh, he's talking to the mask. We did it again, Joe. You and me.
They unrecoverable.
Yeah, it's Joe Rogan's. I said Joe Rogan. It's Joe Biden's actual face that he's wearing.
It's fucking
Dude,
Joe
yeah,
Rogan.
Joe Rogan would be like, I
wildest
fucking knew
dream.
it.
And I was
I've
the
been thinking
only
this
one.
the whole time.
Fuck you
Everybody call me
doing?
crazy.
And he'd be like, anyway, Obama, you ever tried DMT?
Yeah, so if we can avoid all of
He
that
did lots
stuff,
of things in
America
college that
will
they
be
don't.
horrible.
Yeah, it's a good point though that like America will still be here regardless of what happens. It just may be
Too
owned
much
by
vested
China,
interest.
for example. Like it kind of already is, and it's yeah.
Yeah, we should reverse that.
If I thought
Yeah,
about
get some of
talking-
those jobs back. So like start putting some tariffs back. Continue.
Oh no, if I'm not talking about like witchcraft and like magic on this show, I'm usually talking about sedition. That's like
No, you in favor? Is that
Yeah.
You going with Texas or
um
what's the? I don't know what the split is.
how to escape the big companies?
yeah, I don't
I'm
think
sure.
Return back to the
Why?
farm.
I don't think I'm an anarchist. I think I'm a libertarian, but every day I get closer to anarchy.
It's a line.
Every day I move a little bit closer.
Libertarian to anarchist pipeline.
Yeah. Because I'm like, here's my thing. It's like I'm all about privatization because it's like, no, big business is gonna ruin it. And it's like, well, the idea of capitalism is that like you will not shop there if they're not treating you well. There's a competitor that you can go to. These businesses will die on their own. Unless it's the government propping up banks and like saving them from bankruptcy. Like businesses die. That's capitalism. So it's like in theory, good businesses will survive and bad business practices will fail.
That's
Yeah,
that's like a music scene.
America shouldn't be a business. The values America was founded on are supposed to be transcended, so that we can say that this piece of paper is invested with a spiritual, divine truth that guarantees us rights, even though that's just a fucking idea that we had in this crazy world just to get a bunch of people in a place so that they don't kill each other.
Yeah.
But it's too, we don't have enough separation between these omnipresent shadowy corporations that BlackRock Van Rock own everything.
Yeah.
That I'm like, what am I fucking supposed to do now? Like all of these ideas are so good. And I think when I was in middle school, we had this substitute teacher from fucking Iraq, and he slammed his hands on his desk because everybody wouldn't shut up because they didn't respect him because he was a substitute teacher. And then he yelled at the whole class. He said, "You don't deserve your freedom." And then everybody went dead silent. It's like, you don't deserve your freedom. Do you understand what you have? You don't deserve your freedom. Like he was like screaming it at us. And then he told everybody to leave, and they did. I was like, whoa.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I was on his side though. They were animals.
That's a wild thing for a teacher to say. Holy
well,
shit.
it's like
he was right. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't say he was right, but I mean, he was frustrated.
I just
clearly,
did
but
say
he didn't understand.
Well, imagine that
the background of these kids who are a bunch of
he understood
vicious little goobers.
No, it was the kids.
No, they had no respect.
I agree. Kids don't deserve rights. Fuck
them. No, I mean, you know, they have parents for a reason.
Okay, I'm not gonna say they don't
children back in the mines
deserve
today.
Yeah.
They want.
They should have.
They yearn for the mines, as they say.
Why do they?
They love Minecraft. They
can't get away from them.
Yeah.
We're doing them a disservice by not allowing them in the mines.
Yeah, they could be earning a wage.
Yeah,
I'm like, where's the segue? Where's the segue? I wanted to ask, what's that on your hand? Is that a tattoo?
Oh, yeah, it's a tattoo.
What we got?
This part is called a triskelion. It's a druidic symbol.
Right.
It's like druids would have that mark somewhere. And this part is a type of planchet, the part that you move on top of a Ouija board.
Mm.
What is it meant to represent, the triskelion?
The triskelion is kind of that three within the one. It's like you ever see a Mandelbrot set?
Yes.
Yeah, like at a certain point, like they go on forever as long as your computer can generate them. But you'll see the same pattern repeat itself within that infinity. Like
right.
And I really do think that there's this one thing experiencing itself. We were talking about that earlier. Like that's also what Christianity's all about. That's what Judaism's all about. That's Buddhism is like Shiva's doing this dance, or that's Hinduism and Buddhism. Shiva's doing this dance, and that's what reality is. And then Shiva stops the dance and then starts up a new dance. And it's just God doing a dance.
So you believe in the Trinity, or you believe that it's
Yeah.
a triumvirate of some kind?
Yeah, I believe in the Trinity, but what that means is that everything is one thing, is what the Trinity means.
So it's just a loose symbol for the unity of disparate
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah, like, and at a certain point, right, like this isn't useful at all. Like in colloquial conversation, we're all different people. It's only in this one specific context that we would say we're all one person, right? So like, for the sake of argument, we have to say, I'm here, you're over there. Like in order to get around and like exist in this world. So even if you understand that we're all one thing, it doesn't have a lot of practical usage. But
Unless you're at a rock concert, like a Viretta show, where everybody is one audience enjoying the best rock in Nashville, probably.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Hell
what
yeah.
he said.
yeah, that's gonna be a good show.
It'll be fun. We'll
I'll
have
have
some
to
new
reveal
songs.
too.
I'm happy.
As somebody who's been in the audience for one of our shows, what were your impressions? Because you only saw like a couple,
I've seen you guys
like twice. You said
East Room,
Underdog.
Underdog.
that's right. Yeah.
East Room, Underdog.
It's probably those two.
Probably those two.
What was your impression?
I really like you guys.
I've never seen us
It's
live,
ambient.
so
It's ambient. Like, how do I explain that?
we'll probably
It's like
in our old age we'll be turned into an ambient
It's-
act probably.
It's like it's a big sound that's like filled out. I
Mm.
guess. Like, I wouldn't take anything from it or like add anything to it. When you guys record, do you add additional instruments or you just leave it where it is?
Both.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, until you get to. It's funny. We were talking to some friends last night about like my rating system for movies, and like 3.5, like it's like up to 5 stars. So, but like 3.5 is like I wouldn't take anything away. I wouldn't add anything. It's like you did it. Like that's it. And then like 4, and then 5, or 4.5, and like 5. Like you start getting into like higher level, more auteur, whatever, or like classics. You know, shit that's like immutable. But I feel like
Casablanca, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings. So those are 5s.
5.
I don't know
Yeah,
why
Casablanca
it's
is like a fucking 5. 3.5 movie is like you fucking did it. Like 3, it's like you feel that kind of
Alright.
pull where you're
Yeah.
like, it was good. It's like good. But like the 3.5 is like good job, you know, because and it's so hard to do these things. It's so hard to make something that like actually like so it's like the perfect. It made me realize that like for me, the way I like judge like the perfect level of quality almost is like the most balanced you can get. It's like 3.5, where it's like I wouldn't add anything, I wouldn't take anything away. You know, it exists. Like you fulfilled the promise of the premise. You know, good fucking job. You made a good movie. Like, have you ever seen like Dread, like with Carl Urban? I'm trying to think. That's like a perfect
Is that
3.5
like the Judge
movie.
Dredd stuff?
Yeah, Judge Dredd.
Maybe once a long time ago. It's like, isn't it like very Total Recall? It's like almost the movie's almost Total Recall.
I mean, there's lots of shooting.
Maybe the first one.
Yeah, no, because like the first one's goofy as hell, and it's like Sylvester
Yeah, the
Stallone in the
Stallone one,
'90s.
yeah.
Judge Dredd
Oh,
never
maybe
takes
that's
off
what
his
I'm-
helmet.
that's
He
what I'm
takes it off immediately, so you know it's Stallone.
That is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that one's goofy as shit. Now this one's like really dark, but it's like a really dark, kind of moody, kind of like dystopian action movie. The whole thing's like in this one building that's like this mega structure where you have like this like crazy like it's like the whole tower. It's like this whole gigantic like tower that's like the hood. All of it, it's like all like low rent, very poor, criminal. Like the idea is that like a post-apocalyptic or whatever crime is like at such a high rate that they can only respond to like a minuscule amount of crime.
Yeah.
So it's like
30%.
it's all the deep end.
9%.
Long story short, fucking great movie. It knows exactly what it is. It's not trying to be better than it is. It's like it knows exactly what it's doing. Perfect. 3.5. It's like a fucking perfect. And then it's like anything after that is like, okay, now you're really achieving something. You know, you're really fucking,
Yeah.
crushing it. But like, I feel like that 3.5 is long story short, saying like I wouldn't add anything, would take it. That's like perfect to me. That's like the highest compliment that I feel like I could get at this point. Because I'm like, that's how I judge quality for things.
That's how I feel about Viretta is like
Balance.
it's y'all are doing it's also very sure of itself. It's like a very specific sound, right? Like you guys are doing the thing that you set out to do. You're doing it the way you set out to do it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That does make
really?
sense.
Definitely.
No, 100%. No,
Yeah.
we're reaching for exactly what we're reaching for.
I listen to you guys in the car too. Like I don't know, this is gonna sound douchey, but I don't like do that for a lot of bands. I listen to a lot of like there's only a few local bands I like actually listen to.
Love it.
Ooh, throw them up.
You absurd. I like Ben's solo stuff a lot too. Big fan of Ben for storytelling.
Yeah, and but you're from here.
Yep.
Nice. So he's a relatively like new introduction to your world.
I've known, which is how I know you guys too. Like I've known that camp for basically since they got here.
Nice. We are tangentially related to.
That's right. 'Cause you guys knew each
here.
other before you moved here, right?
Yeah,
they were just complaining about how much LA sucked over quarantine. I'm like, we're
come to Nashville
shooting.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
making money.
And so they did.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Glad you guys did that. Those are
You're
the homies.
welcome.
Connor might be coming by later, actually.
Cool.
But yeah, shout out to Karma Vulture.
You better be here.
Sheedness. But like
I swore my sheetness be.
the absurd Anastasia Elliott, you guys know her?
No.
She's local. I like her stuff. Very like Madonna. Like kind of like 80s pop, but like darker. And she's not from the 80s. So it's a little different, but
Makes sense.
yeah.
Any favorite songs?
C'est la vie. Yeah. That's my favorite. Booty Gum. You guys know Booty Gum?
Nope.
He's a self-proclaimed best ass-eating rapper of all time. He's local.
I'll be the judge of that.
Fucking I'll decide that. We should have an ass-eating competition to see who's the best ass eater.
Comes in last place.
Oh fuck, that'd be embarrassing.
No, I gotta.
You mean the
you
end
can't
of the
tell
list?
people that you are
The bottom of the
you ate.
list?
I'd bet
Ass?
on him for sure.
All right.
Yeah. Guy seems like he knows his way around the butthole.
Cool.
But he's he does like parody rap. Big fan.
Nice.
I'm a big fan. Hussy Fit. Those are my homies. I've known them forever. So
That's a good band name.
yeah. Yeah, you guys listen to local bands? You're like, no, fuck them.
I'm still kind of like learning.
Yeah. You guys know Matt Weldy.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. He's
No.
another friend of.
Oh, he's furious.
No, he's another friend of that whole group that I know through like Ben and
Weldy?
yeah, Matt Weldy. He's like a brilliant singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
The one I listen to a lot.
That's
Sorry,
cool.
you were saying
No.
you're still learning.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Let's-
You know, I'm kind of I keep it insular. And in 2020, you know, there's just no transition into quarantine life for me. It was like, oh, good, I just get to live my life the way I live my life. It was just like seeing less people.
Yeah.
But yeah, going out, playing shows, starting to learn who's exists, you know, on the Nashville scene. So I really just need to do my homework at this point.
Well, self-plug. on our Instagram, we do this thing called Very Important Dates.
Mm.
It's the white rabbit, like, because he's always late for a very important date. But
I can relate.
yeah, but
I'm
it's like,
late
you know,
all the
national
time.
shows to go. You've seen that?
Mm.
Well, basically, it's like I just list all of the shows I'm aware of going on each week,
Nice.
and it's a little bit curated. Like I've only got so many slots on it. So yeah, slots.
That sounds right.
So
Got
you're
it.
just gonna curate my live show list.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's
Like that.
specifically for guests of the show. So yeah, I'll put you guys on there for sure.
Hmm.
But if you're ever wondering what's going on any given night, you can refer to
I
that.
wonder all the time.
Yeah.
Usually I'm just like, Jasmine, what's happening? Or she's like, go to this show. Like whatever it is. And I'm like, no.
In my link tree, there's also a downloadable Google Calendar, so you don't have to wait for the list, like the posting each week.
Oh, sick.
But yeah, I try to keep
That's the
up
way.
with all the things. That's how I know people in town is just getting out to shows, you know.
It's dude, you've wrapped it into like a public service. So that's cool.
Doing what I can, man. I believe in like community. Like we have a good community here. I'm trying to bring everyone together though. Like, and I don't have a problem talking about this, but like, it's getting a lot better, but it can be a little cliquey.
Mm.
These bands play with these bands at these venues, and they don't branch out. It's getting a lot better than it was when I got here in like 2015. I've seen it get a lot more one unified thing. But there's like the goth scene, like that does like the rave stuff, like the EDM trance music.
Cool.
That's like a whole thing that has nothing to do with like this circle of like rock music. And then you've got like the Broadway musicians, and they're kind of like, there's a lot of intermingle with like East Nashville and the Broadway stuff. There's a lot more people that know each other from that stuff. Because a lot of, if you're playing Broadway, you probably like in a cover band, you probably also play in a band, right? But like, then there's like the Murfreesboro punk scene, which is its own very different thing.
Cool.
So I'm trying to like, I'm really trying to like, I'll talk to anyone, and I want us to have one unified community here. And I think we're getting there.
No, I've been meaning to meet a cute goth chick. When are those shows happening?
There's one this Saturday, Eastern,
I know where I'll be.
or at Cobra. You should check first. It's called She's Lost Control.
She's lost control.
They do them every other Saturday. And the Saturday that they don't do it, that's when Fascination Street happens, which is a very similar thing.
Fascination Street.
One is at Cobra, one's at Eastern. And if there's not one going on at Cobra, there's one going on at Eastern, usually.
What's your favorite venue here?
I can tell you my least favorite venues.
The
I
Cobra.
want both.
Right now,
It's Cobra.
there are two venues in close competition for my least favorite. We were talking about this when we were there, but Bowery Vault, you were like, yeah, this place is cool. And I'm like, I fucking hate this place.
Yeah. And the beer was way too expensive,
too
but that's
expensive.
everywhere.
That was honestly like, usually it's a lot more crowded and hot in there. But for it being like July or June, whenever that was,
It was a nice day.
it was a nice day. It wasn't that hot in there, wasn't super packed, but also it's like I've been like shushed in there before for talking too loud. And I'm thinking, wow, fuck you. You're above a pasta joint. Like this shit is not that serious, dude. Calm the fuck down. But that last show there gave me a higher opinion about it.
Oh yeah, that was the first time I was there.
Yeah. The other one would be Dark Matter. I can't stand Dark Matter.
Ain't been there.
It's also 1,000 degrees.
It's like a corner of a room, isn't it?
No, it's a big room. Now, Dark Matter's moved a lot. So like when you got here, it might have been at a different spot. But yeah. Now it's like in Gallatin area, like off Gallatin.
Dude, I gotta go check out your least favorite venue, dude.
Yeah. I'm
That'd be
going there
sick.
soon. There's some good shows going up there. I'd be more concerned about saying this kind of stuff if anyone watched this show, but no one does. So
Amen.
Oh, great.
yeah.
I'm glad we're getting the local outreach.
Hell yeah.
So what's your favorite?
What's my favorite? That's a harder question than what's my least favorite.
Oh, let me think about
Does house venues
if I
count?
could answer that. It sure does. Not
Oh, fuck. I really like Mouthful.
Mouth Hole.
You guys know Mouthful?
That's cool. Where do they do the Berkey House?
Berkey House is lit.
That was fucking
That actually,
cool as shit.
That's a contender, actually.
Yeah, I mean, everybody playing on the roof. You kidding me?
Berkey House is awesome.
Yeah, those guys threw a party.
That's another example of like that's its own community, you know? And like I've been there a few times, but there's not a ton of crossover between like some of the other camps I know and like that camp. But I'm starting to see everything blend together, which is nice. I think we
Good.
really need that. There's no reason for it to not be like that. Like I know some of the goth stuff kind of gets looked down on by like professional instrumentalists that are like we actually play instruments, and what you guys do is really easy.
Yeah, well, they shush you at Power Revolt, so
Yeah, so fuck them, right? No, but yeah, that seems really cool too. It's just kind of its own ecosystem. But yeah, my favorite spot, I don't know, man. Springwater, I've been to
Springwater's cool.
like probably
I'm so sick of seeing Springwater in country music.
No, that's
fucking
true.
videos.
Yeah, because Rob and I do videography as well. So I can't tell you how many country music videos we've. How many have we done since we've lived here that were at Springwater? Like at least 4 or 5.
Oh, or I mean, I feel like I've just seen way more video. We've only been there maybe once or twice for like a video, but
No, I've been there like 4 times.
yikes. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool little hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that was like one of our first shows that we actually played in Nashville. Was
It
at
was.
Springwater.
Well, when we started living here, the first we played was Coyote. What was it called?
Oh yeah, you remember that?
Oh, Crying Wolf?
Crying Wolf.
Crying Wolf.
It's
Thanks,
not there anymore. Yeah.
Yeah,
funny that
that's
moved
too
to
bad.
Madison.
Crying
Yeah.
Wolf was pretty cool.
Off McFerrin Avenue. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
that was
was
alright.
rest in peace, Crying Wolf.
Yeah, we'll miss you.
Oh, do you guys remember Old Cannery? Like Mercy Lounge, High Watt?
Yeah.
I liked High Watt.
High Watt was great.
I was just there.
It's a great
for,
venue name.
Vo.
Yeah, they opened back up. I haven't been there in the last like year since they started doing stuff.
I'm
again.
not sure what's different, but I liked it. I like the name better. High Watt, because now it's like row 1 or something.
Cannery
Mm.
ball
Oh,
room.
okay.
Can of
One.
beans.
It's like has a number.
Okay, well that's lame.
Do you
Yeah, what the
so
fuck?
how do
I
you
don't
how do
know.
you
I
edit
don't
these?
know.
Do you just like put the whole fucking
We
thing
don't
up
at
and
all.
you just
Yeah. Unless there's specifically something we have to.
does anybody get through all of them? Like
So I've noticed retention time is usually around an hour. Yeah, we're a little over an hour now. So, but yeah, we can start wrapping it up.
how interesting. Or no, I'm curious how you
It's
how
about
you
it,
chop
like-
it up.
Yeah, we do very little editing here. Yeah, just trim the top and the end off. Neef does all of that, but I know very little about all this. He actually set up all this, and I just plug it in. But I'm not technically like technology proficient at all. Pretty not good with this stuff.
Yeah, it was tough for me when I started recording myself.
Yeah,
I just didn't understand. Took some time, but I got a hang of it.
yeah.
It just takes exposure.
I'm lucky that like I have people to help me out with it.
Yeah, they'll do it for you.
Yeah,
You don't need to worry about it.
I'm like kind of a diva about it. I gotta show up.
Yeah, so in videography, what we call that is talent. You are talent. Make way for talent, or somebody get talent, or
Where is
is
talent?
Yeah. then like production's a whole other side of it. Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, it's like, I don't know, being in a band kind of, because you're still getting like a peek behind the curtain, but the camera doesn't need to be pointed at you.
Yeah.
It's but you're still kind of like running the show in a way. It's awesome. It's all storytelling, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a really good like working relationship with my producer. It's he actually like wants me to be more hands off with stuff. Like don't wire, like I got this. Like you don't have to worry about it. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fair. Like, yeah. Oh, I shouldn't give too much insider stuff, but we yeah, we have we've been doing this like almost 4.5 years. So
Wow.
yeah. We released episode 186 this week. This will be like, I'll have it up before the 16th, but it'll probably be that week. So it'll be
Cool.
like 189, something like that.
Honored to be here, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate
for
it.
having us.
Let's see. We talked about aliens. We talked about ghost stories.
Yeah.
We talked about the origins of human life and the afterlife, if there is one.
Talk about religion. We
Talked
talked
about
about
religion.
music.
Yeah, we did that too. We talked about music. Let's see.
End by making your favorite sound. Your turn.
I refuse.
Kiki. No, go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were asking me.
No, you don't. I'm glad you took it seriously though.
There are other things. I don't think I asked you guys. This is something I ask everybody. What do you think happens after we die? And the answer is always, I don't know. But like, because no one knows. But does anything make any more sense than anything else?
I think what happens after we die is you send yourself where you think you deserve to go.
Yeah.
Which is like about as cleanest as I could probably say.
All of the answers exist, and it's the one you think. So you're not necessarily manifesting where you want to go. It's the one you feel like you ought to go to.
Your conscience judges you.
Yeah. That's why it's like you got to be careful about what you think about yourself and what you reinforce. Because it's like I feel like that stuff adds up in your head, and if you live your life like you're going down, then your life may end, and you may find yourself pointed down.
Yeah.
And it's like even just by habit.
Yeah. It's like no matter what you tell yourself, subconsciously, where you are in the terms of morality.
Or you just, it's a practice. That's why they call it like a religion. It's a practice. It's a faith, So it's something that you build upon, that you practice daily, that you reinforce, the way you see yourself. Or I have a friend who was talking about her religion. I was saying like that she wants to go to a perfect world and feels that she doesn't deserve to go to that place, but accepts that and wants to reach for that anyway, knowing that they don't, or how unworthy she is, so to speak. Not focusing on the bad thing, but almost kind of reconciling that we all fall short. Like, and that sounds very healthy to me. I feel like, because it's like
it's something to strive towards.
Yeah, it's just like look up a little bit.
Without that kind of direction, humanity's kind of doomed. Like you have to have a God.
Yeah.
You have to have an aspiration.
Yeah, you got to be looking at something.
What you worship is your God.
Yeah, I would also say yes. What you worship is your God, and everyone does this consciously or unconsciously, right? So everyone worships something, whether it's nicotine, money. Everyone has a God, even the people that are atheist, right? In action,
Perhaps.
let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you guys worship?
It's just from a song. I worship good book, a cup of tea.
Yeah,
That's a bullshit answer. Why don't you?
that's a ritual,
Why
right?
don't you?
Literally the first thing that came to mind, I was like, dude, I worship like playing Bloodborne at like 2 a.m.
Hell yeah. You see, like, is that the worship or is that the ritual?
It's a ritual of a kind.
Yeah.
Summoning the blood moon, but
Mhm.
it's a video game, guys. It's a video game.
Yeah. Yeah, from soft.
Cost, or some say awesome. Yeah, have you played Bloodborne?
No. I played it when it came out a little bit. I'm not a big Souls
I
guy.
am fucking obsessed. I love that shit. I love the constant negative enforcement is fucking I
You're a
respond
masochist.
I respond to it. So no, I just it feels like so fair. It seems
Are you
like
trolling
something.
me?
No.
Are you think it's fair? You
Yeah.
think Dark Souls is fair?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. People
So,
want
like, when
people
you're-
want shit to be
When you're running
easier.
off like along the side of a cliff and something pops out at you and just shoves you off.
Yeah, it's like, were you paying attention? Because they usually give you enough time to dodge it if you're paying the fuck attention.
I
you know?
disagree.
People
But that's okay. I
people
think
want
it's
their
cool that you like it.
curated fucking experience. I think that people need to be beaten down a little bit more.
It's definitely hard and challenging.
Yeah.
I don't know if I call it fair.
But then you master that, and then you like are so in control of your moment to moment that like nothing can
Yeah.
even touch you. Like one of my favorite things is like, and this is I could talk about this fucking game forever, but like, because like you can like walk slowly if you want to. You push on the movement stick or whatever. You can run, you can walk, whatever. I like walking slowly, and because past a certain point, it's really like chess because the way they have the animations for like the attacks and stuff, so you can read everybody's moves based on where they are. So I see somebody coming at me and I know how long it takes I press the button and then the dude starts his swing, and I know when to press it judging by how close the dude is in order to do. But I also know that there's like 3 other dudes and they're coming in from like some other directions, so you got to do like the mental chess to like I'll just like walk through like unimpeded. And I fucking love. Okay, so with Bloodborne, they have the thing where if you shoot them with your gun at the same time as they attack, then you stun them. And then they just like rip their guts out, and it's like the visceral attack. That's like the one-hit kill, basically. So if you time it perfectly, I fucking love that shit. Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? Like, I love being tested, and I love being competent at something. So for games like that, it's like I don't worship that. I worship. I would say that maybe I could say something like I worship like the most good, or the ultimate good,
Oh.
whatever's like the most high or whatever.
Okay.
Because that was your question.
Yeah.
I just really like Bloodborne. I have my video game disclaimer at the end, but
That brings me to something else. I'm a big believer in objective morality. I think there is good and evil outside of human perspective.
yeah, you're not a your truth, my truth kind of guy.
Yes.
You're just a truth kind of guy.
There is the truth. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe
I'm
that.
an objectivist in most things. I think art is kind of similar. Best way I can explain that is like objectively, Mozart is better than Justin Bieber.
Yes.
And okay,
I was like,
The mental-
people out of Georgia. I'm like, yes, no, that tracks.
yeah, like objectively, and there's I can't tell you the metrics to measure this on, which is kind of like a cop-out answer. But I think metrics
Compositional talent, I think, is an
no,
easy one.
it's
talent, composition, like
competency, mastery of
okay.
the individual.
So it sounds like we're on the same page here about objectivism. Like, so if we can accept that as true, that this is somewhere above this in ranking, that means that's true of all art, right?
Dude, this is the purpose of the 3.5 star movie, because it's like, does it accomplish what it set out to do?
Yeah.
Or I think like my axiom, I guess, whatever. I feel like most movies that are made now think that they're 4s and they're actually like 2s. But if they aimed for 3.5, just being like competently accomplishing what they set out, and like they'd be so much better. Because I feel like a lot of 3.5 star movies for me are like more genre-y or more like schlocky, or like the Constantine Keanu Reeves movie, like fucking great movies that like, it's not gonna like win Academy Awards or anything, but like it does exactly what it set out to do, and like honestly, and it's not like acting like it's not, it doesn't have that pretentiousness.
Yeah.
It just is. It's like that's got to be like the measure of quality for me. It's like, did you do what you set out to do?
There's trying and there's doing. And a lot of the modern movies are trying too hard and falling short for that reason.
Well, because Spielberg grew up in the time period that he grew up in. J.J. Abrams grew up being like, I like what he did. Directors now are like, I like what J.J. Abrams did, and they're just the drippings of the drippings of the drippings of the drippings. And then like, I mean, like, George Lucas and Spielberg, they made like fucking like popcorn movies at the end of the day. They weren't making high art, and a lot of their stuff isn't really that good.
Yeah.
They have like a couple movies that like fucking hit and they fucking rock,
I like the first Star Wars a lot because it's like, it's kind of what you're saying. Like, it's a very like, it's a of itself film that set out to do what it meant to do. Like, when you boil down A New Hope, it's about a knight going to save the princess from the evil wizard, and he uses a sword and magic to do it.
Yeah.
It's like a space fantasy. And the rest of them, I feel like,
kind of veer off.
Yeah. It's like, that's what it is. This is an archetypal story. This is the story. And then everything else is a story.
Well, you had his wife, Marcia Lucas, at the time, was his editor.
Oh,
and
really?
Well, George, fascinating human, because like really, like, he changed the way people make movies and all the digital effects and the technology and stuff. Even just signing an actor for more than one movie before the script is written, like stuff that's like industry standard now, like had never been done before. And you have like Natalie Portman being like, I can't believe I'm signing on to 3 movies and I only have like 1 script. Like, this is such a commitment. Like, what the fuck is it? This has never happened before. My agent was like freaking out. But like, for that first one, A New Hope, his wife at the time, Marcia, she was like, George, this is a fucking mess. This movie, the Star Wars movie, that nobody has taken seriously, the whole production. Everybody's been making fun of you and yada yada yada. Your writing's so scatterbrained. This movie's a mess. I need to. She chopped that shit up,
Oh, wow.
made sense, got rid of a bunch of shit, and ended up getting the Oscar for best editing.
Wow.
And not like nobody. I mean, and you can go on Wikipedia and learn this. It's not like privileged information, but I always think about that because he's such a strong idea man. He's got so much focus in things that matter to him, but like things like story, and it's like, whatever. It's like, what planet is Obi-Wan from? Like, Stu John, whatever. Jon Stewart was interviewing him, and he was like, Stu John, that's the planet Obi-Wan's got. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like that was not in my prerogative. I was wondering how many exhaust ports. What's the fucking, he's in a totally different place. But having the movie started to suck, one, after he sold it, but especially when he wasn't insulated by people who were competent at doing their jobs to be able to like translate what was going on. Because it's like, he didn't even have to be a good writer to create one of the best, like, modern kind of story fables that we've been able to have. And it is just like fantasy, it's entertainment, but there is something kind of oddly essential about it. But I love that about that first one, that it literally took his wife, who would understand him more but his wife, to be able to be like, okay, I know what the fuck you're going for. This is goofy as hell. You don't need this. You need this. Like, they didn't even have like at the end where they're trying to blow up the Death Star before it gets into orbit where the good guys' base is, and to blow it up. Like, that, those were like 2 separate things. And she was like, this should be happening at the same time. So now you have stakes for them doing like the trench. If they don't blow it up, they're going to blow up the good guy planet. Like,
Right.
That wasn't even something you can literally fix anything in post, almost, to a point.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I need to just finish my book and start editing it.
Finish your book. It'll work out in the edit.
You're absolutely right. Like,
Have somebody else edit.
Right.
Then you'll really find out what's good about it.
Edit it. He won't edit it.
Yeah. He'll just post it.
Instead
of the publisher.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like, I should finish it, then revise it, then have someone else edit it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you'll or like that's what they say. Like as soon as you have that first draft done, put it in a drawer and don't fucking look at it for like a month or two, and then you come back and like, who fucking wrote this shit? This is garbage. Yeah, and you can judge it a little more accurately.
Was it write drunk, edit sober? I think that's Hemingway.
Makes sense to me.
Probably.
I got to see his house in Key West.
Really? All the cats?
Oh, dude, so sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the cats there are like a descendant from the cats that he owned. So it's like they're considered. There's like a little plaque and it says that like the cats own the house. Like these are the proper owners of and then we maintain the museum and everything. We maintain it for the cats.
Yeah. They're like special cats too, right? Like they have 3 fingers instead of 4 or something.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of weird stuff, but like they're literally like they have all the sections little cordoned off, and they have like the little what do you call like the little dividers and like the little hook things to like keep people from like going inside the rooms or on the beds and stuff. And then the cats are just they're walking around, they're like laying on the beds and stuff and just like hanging out. It's like they own the property. But yeah, very fun.
We're getting along here pretty far, so I'm just gonna start rapid firing some questions to you guys.
Sure. Yeah.
Top 3 movies.
Fuck. Well, I mean, like, I can say what's on my letterbox right now. Fucking love letterbox. You aware of that? What that is? It's basically somebody had the brilliant idea to make a social media basically that's just for films.
Oh, like Goodreads, but for movies.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can log them. You can put things in your watch list that you haven't watched. You can. It has like a heart for a like. So you can say whether you liked it or not. There's like an eyeball icon. So it's like I have watched it or not. So it's you can watched it, but maybe you didn't like it, and then you can give it a 5-star, up to a 5-star rating, and then and a half. Anyway,
Gotcha.
But yeah, because I fucking love this shit, and I love talking about movies. But right now, I think my top 4 right now, and then okay, and then just in like on a marketing perspective, the rollout for Letterboxd, because this is pretty new, but the rollout has been genius. They have like Letterboxd correspondents go to like red carpet events and ask like actors their top 4, for like in your profile, you can have like your top 4, like MySpace, you do like your top 10 friends or whatever. So you get your like top 4 movies or whatever. And it's like, it's such a consistent thing. And it's like, oh, fuck, what's I don't know, what's fucking Andy Serkis's fucking top 4? What's fucking Elijah Wood's top 4? What's you start to kind of wonder. It's just genius. It's great promotion.
Yeah. That's cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, but in no particular order, my top 4 right now are Casablanca, Lost in Translation, High Fidelity, and The Matrix.
Nice.
That's my long answer for a short question.
Love Casablanca. Ikiru, I think, is fantastic.
What is it?
Ikiru. It's a
Akira
Kurosawa.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's hard not to put The Matrix up there because it kind of.
Yeah, The Matrix is great. And it's just like a perfect, kind of like Jurassic Park, where it's a perfect blockbuster kind of movie.
Yeah, it's kind of the perfect movie.
But
the pacing's phenomenal.
I think trying to think of like movies that I actually watch, not that I just like hold in high esteem.
Oh, I see.
But Three Colors Blue is one of my favorites. If you're aware of it, this is Polish director. What's his name?
Oh, Kieslowski.
Yeah, but his first name,
Christoph.
Christian.
Christoph.
Christoph
Kieslowski.
He wrote this trilogy of movies. It's the Three Colors trilogy.
You probably heard of this.
Maybe if I had more info or saw it, but not off the top of my head.
Yeah, Christoph Kieslowski.
I think I swapped one of them out. It's
so good.
It's Black Narcissus.
But the first one, you like Black Narcissus like more than I do, but I love Black Narcissus. It has Juliette Binoche in it, and she's this composer who suffers a horrific loss and just goes on with her like solemnity as she mourns. And it's what makes his films awesome is that he constantly withholds information while giving you other pieces of information that you didn't ask for, and then kind of like reverses you out of it till you understand, like with images, or he'll cut to like something that you don't understand, like the edge of this light over here. You have no idea what it is, and then somebody stands up, hey, thanks for having us on the podcast, and they'll leave, and then you get like the wide where you can see everything. You're like, oh, that's what the fuck
I got you.
just like simple shit, which is so amazing.
It's terribly engaging. Really good with editing.
Yeah.
And his shot choices are ridiculous.
But if I were to choose a four, mine is taking the longest one.
Rapid fire question, just like
Yeah, no, I'm
dead,
sorry, that was-
dead.
It was a big
Oh.
question.
It's for me, yeah.
I think I know mine. I think.
Tell me.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. I love his Dracula.
Yes.
So over the fucking top.
Bram Stoker's Dracula was great.
Yeah, just as
big Coppola
Bram
fan.
Stoker
Big
intended.
Coppola fan. Yeah, Apocalypse Now. Across the Universe by Julie Taymor.
I never
Is that
saw
the
it, but
Beatles
I'm
one?
aware of it.
Yeah,
I had a girlfriend that really wanted me to see it.
that's very much a girlfriend movie. Like I had a girlfriend that showed me that.
Somehow I dodged it.
It's good. It's a good movie.
Mhm.
The Shining
Yeah.
and Lego Movie. Lego Movie's up there. Lego Movie's high up there.
It intrigues me what hits people a lot of the times, because it's like, again, like I'm very fascinated with marketing and like how you get people to kind of get on the same page about something. But there is something oddly universal about the Lego man.
Yeah, have you seen Lego Movie?
I worked at a elementary school for a year one time. The Lego Movie was viewed
Yeah.
more than a couple times.
But you said you haven't? You haven't seen Lego Movie?
No.
Dude, watch it. Watch Lego Movie. It's worth it. I promise.
Chris Pratt's like a little Lego dude, and
Sounds
It's-
great.
Stuff
it's
stuff
fucking
happens.
deep, dude. It's fucking awesome. It goes places. It's crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
No, it's definitely
give it
better
a
than it
shot.
should have been, or
Yeah.
than the concept has any right to be. Certainly.
yeah, it has no business being as good as it is. It's ridiculous that it's that good. What did you think of your fourth one? Or
Yeah.
third, fourth
Wait, did
one?
you decide your fourth of 3 top movies?
It's tough. It's a tough question.
I'll just throw in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, just because, like, I want his job. Like the guy has embedded himself in the bureaucracy. There's all these kids that papers that they need to be graded, and they're always like banging out his door, like, and he just walks away. He doesn't need to deal with that shit. He's already got his check. He's gonna go to fucking Tunisia the next week, like, and just discover things. That shit is so
Hell
cool.
yeah.
I love Indiana Jones,
Me too, man.
but it's not like cinema, but I couldn't let it go.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I think there's a difference between like what you think like the 4 best movies are, and then like what your favorites are. Like I wouldn't rank like
those are
high
just some.
objectively,
Yeah,
but I do really like it.
nice. But like, there's 12 Angry Men is perfect in
Yeah.
every way.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about a movie that goes places. And it's like if they're in the same room.
Yeah,
How
I
the
was gonna say, it
fuck did
goes
they
2
do this?
places. That
By the
woman
time
in the
he's
bathroom.
like doing the steps and they're timing him to
Yeah,
figure
you're
out, and he's
like,
like running
holy
around the
shit,
table, and it's
this
like
movie can do fucking anything.
to see if it's conceivable
Oh my
if the
God.
dude had enough time to get to the door to kill the dude at the time, and they're like,
Yeah, time it.
I don't think he could. It's fucking genius.
Rashomon is kind of like that.
Transforms the
It's
space.
another Kira Kurosawa one where you're getting like a murder from 4 different perspectives, like a secret 4th one at the end. but because there's like a trial going on, and this is all being relayed to like another guy because three dudes are under uh, like this like dilapidated pagoda, hiding from the rain, and it's like a priest, regular guy,
And like a
an
criminal.
asshole, and they're all just talking about this trial and what they heard from the perspectives, but then it turns out one of them also saw something, but that's towards the end. It's a short movie, but it's fucking.
You
so
basically
good.
see like the same story play out in three completely different ways. So you
Wow.
have the
With
actors,
the same characters.
you,
in the
you
same
have the
place.
actors, yeah, who are portraying the people in the situation, and it's like one of those story within a story things because it's like you have them telling the story of like
Oh, I
what they
see.
heard, and then you have the trial which is going on, and then the thing actually play out as you see it three different times. So basically each actor gets like a rinse and repeat opportunity to like play out the scene in a different way. It's
Yeah.
kind of brilliant. I think, I mean, and it was pretty famous. It's a really well known movie because I feel like it's not necessarily like a trope, but like it's like a story device that people have used in like there's like a Power Rangers episode where it's like that's not what happened, like I was like the best dude, yada yada yada, and then each dude talks about the fight scene or whatever, and then at the end it's like, yeah, well, what all of you missed was that all of you guys were looking at yourselves and not working as a team, you know. It's like anyway, but yeah, that's a good one.
So right.
You're so right, dude. There's some good lessons, man. But no, that dude, just like I would like to be an actor. If I was an actor, I would want to do something like that, where it's like in the one scenario, the dude's like a pussy, and then the next one, he's like the dude who kills everybody, and then the next one, he's like the virtuous kind of, you know. It's like it's so interesting, but it's just storytelling,
Playing multiple roles within the same movie.
and it's like the same scenario in the same location, but
two
but you
dudes
have
and a
so
woman.
much perspective, like 4D perspective on the event that it's just phenomenal
That's
storytelling.
cool.
So yeah, good rapid fire round.
Do you guys have twin psychic abilities?
Probably.
I don't know.
You don't have a frame of reference to anything
Yeah.
else, so
I think
Yeah.
it happens. I think that we just think similar,
Hmm.
and there's a lot of like congruities there.
have you guys ever fucked the same girl?
No,
No.
I feel like there's probably girls that'd be into that. Have you guys ever been asked?
yes, of course we have more than once.
Okay.
And one person lightly hinted at it.
I'm
But
sure
yeah.
that's like a fetish thing, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Two handsome dudes.
That are identical.
That's
to each
just
other.
greedy. in my
That's come on, Smog. It's not.
Yeah,
That was a Lord of the
hoarding
Rings
all the
reference.
gold. No,
Yeah.
Well, this is the first novel I ever read. So
Really?
yeah. The
Yeah,
Hobbit.
in elementary school.
You know, I do this book club. I've never read The Hobbit. I've actually never read any Tolkien before.
Nice.
But epic fantasy is like that's my wheelhouse. Like that's what I mostly read. and write.
It's I would say it's more of a children's story,
Okay.
but that
Is told
adults can read.
It's
Yeah.
told
It's great.
competently.
Some
It's
of my
great.
favorite books are like that, actually. Do you guys have a favorite book?
Ooh. Well, 2666 always goes up there just because I enjoy it so much for being so different and fucking crazy. This Chilean author was dying of cancer while he wrote it, and you kind of get that sense. And it's about like it has 5 different parts. It's about like 5 different things set in the real world or whatever. But these strange circumstances all surround this half imagined city called Santa Teresa, which is like basically a stand-in for Ciudad Juarez, where women between like the years of like 93 to 94 to 96 or whatever, like hundreds of bodies of women were found. Hundreds.
Does this really happen?
Yes.
Yeah, no, this
So Juarez is a real city. Santa Teresa is not, but it's like
based on
the
that.
spiritual Juarez for this
Okay.
story. And it's like on one level, it's about some literary critics who are trying to find this elusive author. And then it's about somebody who lives in Santa Teresa, and it's about like the cops and like the policemen who are who just keep finding bodies of people.
There's like a reporter who's like doing something tangential that gets like swept
Yeah,
up.
like
So it's
covering
like,
a boxing event in the middle of the shit, and then the last part is about the mysterious author who, and like all paths inextricably get sucked in like a black hole to this city in border town between U.S. and Mexico.
How long is it?
It's like
Page
it's
count.
very long.
900 some pages.
Oh shit. I was gonna see if you want to do it for book club, but that's too long for me. I can't do that in a month.
Oh no.
That's a lot.
We read I read House of Leaves in a month.
Oh, House of Leaves is so good, dude. That's such a good one.
We like it. We like it a lot. I feel like
yeah, we kind of went in and out through that one. I think
I
he
mean,
just hates his dad, to be
yeah,
honest.
he was kind of just like mad.
Yeah, towards the yeah, I'm like, okay, I understand. You're just upset.
But incredibly
creative, which is like
certainly.
I'm sure his other books are also good, but I'm in the middle of Brothers Karamazov right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is awesome. Have you read any Dostoevsky?
Yes.
What you
Crime
got?
and Punishment.
Yes, of course.
What's the other big one he does?
Probably The Idiot.
No, I haven't read that.
The Brothers Karamazov.
Oh, The Brothers Karamazov?
No. I'm familiar with that one. It's not that one either.
The Idiot,
Notes from Underground,
The
maybe.
Gambler, Notes for the Underground.
I can't remember. It doesn't. I don't think it's any of those.
Wait, no, never mind.
Wait. It might not be him.
You're not thinking of like Death of Ilyin Narovich?
It's Tolstoy.
Yeah.
No, it's no, it's not him. I'm thinking of it's up there somewhere.
Are we doing books now? Clarice Lispector's Passion of GH.
I'm glad that you like that one.
I love a lot. It's awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, I scooped that one on a lark.
You guys should join my book club.
I'm too many books deep.
Well,
I would
never
never be able to.
one, and then come talk about that one. Like just do like you don't have to commit to doing it every month. Like just pick one and we'll do it.
Yeah, that's not a bad.
It's got to be like around 300 pages though, somewhere in that ballpark or less.
Actually, one that fits that's one of my favorites probably ever. I would say definitely like a top 3 is this novel called Stoner by John Williams. So it's this DU professor, Denver, which is crazy because we would take a light rail from where we lived in Parker, Colorado, down to into the city in Denver. And in between, the University of Denver is like kind of like right in between. We were on like the UCD, University of Colorado, Denver. What's the difference? Who cares? And that was like in the city, but like right before that was DU, Denver University. And we would pass it every time. I wouldn't think anything of it. And then I learned that this DU professor wrote this book in the 60s, died, whatever. And in 2012 had this like fucking renaissance. And then everybody was reading it. It's like, you really never know when your time's going to come, right? But this book is like about this dude who comes from like a farming family who discovers academia. And then he decides to break away from his parents and be a professor. And it's kind of like about his life and it struggles, and it feels like he leads this life that's maybe deeply unfulfilling, but it sounds like it's like the driest thing ever, but his prose is luminous. This dude knew how to use words. It's such a joy to read. He makes such like minute trifles of the day-to-day seem like these big, epic, intensely emotional, like I don't know how he fucking does it. Again, his prose is fucking perfect. That's a really good one. Stoner, John Williams. I think my favorite, my fucking favorite book is this book called All the King's Men by Robert Penn Warren.
What's your favorite book?
Probably. I just keep coming back to it. Ever heard of that one? Well, I'll just keep fucking. We'll just like text you a bunch of like fucking titles.
I keep a list for book recommendations.
Stoner John Williams is It's real compact too. Like you would blow through it if you've read books before.
I've read a book or
Some people struggle.
I've been doing a book a month we did like the 24th book club a couple months ago. I think this is like the 27th. So I'm doing a book a month for a little over 2 years, which is pretty good for me.
What's the book this time?
Pimp.
Oh,
That book is it's an autobiography.
It's how to be a pimp.
Yeah, dude, I've like actually learned so much from this book. Like you can apply it's kind of like Art of War, like you can apply it to a lot of things. But yeah, it's great. My favorite book is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Sure.
I've heard of him.
Yeah,
I've
I
heard
like
that book mentioned a
archetypal
lot.
stories. Like we were talking at the beginning of this. That's a good way to like bring it back around and close it.
Yeah.
We're talking about biblical narrative and like how there's a way to tell a story. So the pattern that the Israelites followed is the same pattern that the tarot deck is based on. It's because that's a story also. And like the way you can open up a book and like get your answer to the like it's communicating with you.
Mhm.
It's less about like the Bible's full of useful information, but I feel like it's also like it's a connection with a spirit, like you're interacting with it. Anyway, there's been other works to follow that pattern. Tarot deck. Lewis Carroll was an Oxford theologian. He would definitely have been aware of the concept I'm describing in Hebrew literature. Alice in Wonderland is a chiastic story. It starts where it ends. So there's something weird. I put it more in like the Odyssey category than like a fantasy category because it's all
Yeah, you getting your
allegorical.
Homer on, dude?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, Homer's Odyssey.
Let's go. Did you read the Iliad?
No, I have it, but I have
Brother.
not read it.
Fucking awesome.
Maybe we should do that one for book club too.
Isn't that shit long too? Or is it?
It's like
It's
500,
long.
right?
Yeah, it's around 500. Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels great.
Also Wizard of Oz. Frank Baum was
Shit, it should have been on my list.
We were
It's just a
talking
classic.
about Frank or Wizard of Oz last night too.
Yeah,
nice.
You're talking about the book.
Yeah, the book. Yeah, L. Frank Baum was a theosophist. He knew Helena Blavatsky, like that LA cult
cool.
based in Christianity.
Hmm.
And that book is full of allegorical wisdom. Like, just quick example, and this is one of 1,000. The yellow brick road in the book, all of the munchkins wear blue. In the movie, they're multicolored, but they all wear blue, and they point Dorothy to the yellow brick road, which leads to the Emerald City. And in color theory, blue and yellow make green.
Right.
It's full of stuff like that. But that one is also.
But it's not even really green. The Emerald
Right,
City,
yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
have the
That's a
glasses.
good point. That's a good point. It's not actually green. Like they're putting on the tinted glasses. Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, that all of those books are based on this biblical storytelling. And The Alchemist is one of those too.
What is the pattern?
So this is an oversimplification. There's more to it than this, a lot more. But a big part of it is that it starts where it ends. It's a circular story.
What do they call this pattern? So I can
Chiasms
look at it.
or chiastic literature.
Cool.
CIASTIC or CIASISM.
Cool.
Yeah. This has been really fun. I think we should do it again sometime. We've been going for like 2 hours, so we should probably wrap it up. But
Yeah, that's Puerto Rican energy, man. Sorry.
yeah. No, it's all good. You guys are great. I'd love to talk to you guys again sometime. Let's
yeah.
Hell
do
yeah.
it.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe. Make sure that you're doing stuff in the comments.
Hey guys,
Be
make
good
sure
to
you
each other.
smash that like button and
Ooh.
hit and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications.
Yo, Alice, thumbs up makes you grow
Yeah.
bigger.
And check out Viretta, music available, Spotify, all the things.
Yeah.
I'll put a link for them and check them August 16th at the basement.
Done and dusted.
Let's do it.